Hey guys, what's going on? Ultimus here. So today's video I wanted to show something a little bit different. Still trying and testing the waters out with stuff like this, but I wanted to show you guys a couple RBGs that we did, or at least I should say an RBG that we did, a series of 4 that we had some pretty good success with, and I really liked the way they turned out aside from winning, but I felt like we played really well, and so I thought I would try laying some commentary over it for you. As you can see at the beginning there, it was showing off my glyphs, and if you want to double check back, you'll see that I ended up replacing one of my glyphs, my Rune Interruption, with the Flawless Defense glyph, I believe it was, because what we realized was a majority of their team was all physical damage. And so the nice thing about that, of course, is that reduces the critical strike chance against you, I believe, if I'm quoting it right, when you have Die by the Sword active. So that makes Die by the Sword a much more potent defensive cooldown. We ended up sending a good portion of us to lava, because for whatever reason in this BG, whoever seems to control lava the most frequent wins it. I don't know if that's because it has a shorter track or what, but that was our strat, and we sent the rest up top, I believe. And so what ended up happening was, in all honesty, I really thought we were going to lose this one. I have a really love-hate relationship with this one. I like the principle of this BG, I like the way it should play, but the way it usually turns out, I'm just not a big fan of. But we ended up winning this one, pulling it off quite nicely. Now my big goal as a Fury Warrior when playing any BG, whether it's rated or just random, of course, is to do as much damage as possible. And the way this works out in this BG is the more pressure you can put on them, they might get scared and try to book it out. Simply because this is, an area where if you are in the nodes or around the carts, you will control it. There's more of you than there are of them. And so my goal was to try to put as much pressure on them as I possibly could, to either be able to pick off kills or let some of our hunter pick up a kill, or so I could scare them off. I wasn't necessarily concerned with killing blows as much as I was getting them out of our circle. And as you can see with that one right there, we barely got it at the last second, which is okay by me, but it definitely cuts it close, and I was off to a rocky start, I felt, with this BG. I don't really know what could have been played differently here. I feel like we really held this one together really nicely. We played really solidly. We were really good with our callouts. And that's really the most important thing when you're playing a rated battleground. Of course, it's important in a random battleground, but if you're playing for keeps like you are in rated battlegrounds, especially because you want those wins because they have a chance to drop you that epic piece of gear every week, you want to make sure that you're making them count. And of course, especially if you're pushing rating. So, as you can see here again, not so much concerned with kills, just wanted to put pressure on them. Want to make sure I'm keeping them away from that cart turning device over there. Can't think of the lever, I guess, because I don't want them turning that cart up top. And just keeping an eye on the healers, of course. Don't want them free casting too much. Get that fear off, and looks like the DK goes down there with a nice 36k crit execute. Though I didn't get the killing blow, looks like someone snagged right at the last second. And so we're just dominating them at this point. I mean, we're picking it up quite nicely. And at this point too, I'm looking at starting to prep and get myself ready for heading back out to mid. I want to go and be ready to grab the lava cart when it comes out again, because there's no one attacking us, so I feel safe enough to leave my DK there so he can finish off the cap, and I'll pick up the cart as it comes out. In rated battlegrounds, I like to pick up the insignias off them, make sure they don't walk back to their bodies, and force a cap here. So you can see most of us are up top there trying to pick up that cart as it goes in before it goes into the cap. The middle one is gone already, so there's really no point going after it, but if we can snag top, we're in a better position here. And I'm just deciding to take the initiative and get myself set up so I can grab this cart. Since no one was attacking lava, it was safe to leave the DK down there as well. And even if it was going to be someone, it was just going to be one rogue, and 1 versus 1 in that circle isn't going to negate that out of course. And so I wanted to make sure I was in a position to set up our team so I'd have the cart right away. At this point, I feel like it's more effective for me to stop and type up that we're needing help at lava rather than try to fight back. Again, because this was a YOLO RBG, so we weren't using any voice chat, we were just going for it, which is kind of fun sometimes, just pumping the damage into that hunter, and down he goes. Kind of bummed I didn't get the kill there, but that's okay. But yeah, so as you can see now, after that, snagging that cart right off the bat set us up for success, of course, and then my team was quick to respond to my call for ink. So that was extremely helpful. These guys were on top of it. So it's amazing how much better things go when everybody plays as a team. This really isn't the kind of game where it's a one-man show, and I think that's kind of what I like about RBGs. Arenas very much so, of course, but I feel like arenas can be carried a little bit heavier by one good player. Not all the time, but it's possible. Whereas RBGs really need a cohesive team to pull it off. Especially maps like this, just where I feel like it can like rubber band so quickly if you're not paying attention. So as you can see there at the edge there, I'm trying to fight right there on that edge. I don't want to leave it because I don't want to cause my team to lose any points, but I'm trying to put as much pressure on them as I can again. Really trying to focus those healers when I can, when I see them. Everyone else here is pretty low, so I'm just picking them off here with executes and raging blows. Just wanted to make sure we pick them up at this point, because at this point I want to force them to run back. I want to force them to their graveyard so they're having to start all over again afresh. But originally there I was looking to just put as much pressure again to kind of keep them out of the ring. Especially when you're playing low MMR RBGs. I feel like this one we fought was about a 1500 rating, which is still pretty low. And so what ended up happening was a lot of times you get a lot of people that are fairly new to PvP or RBGs and things like that, or don't really have the confidence in their team. And at this point we're beating them, so I mean morale on that team is pretty low as it is. I can imagine this is probably where the yelling and the trash talking of each other picks up. So you can imagine their team's kind of falling apart. I did that Paladin Ragequit earlier, that was the best. So at this point they're down one player at least. So that was unfortunate for them. But so I mean, playing a low MMR RPG as an experienced player, you can kind of, it sounds kind of messed up, but that's the nature of PvP, but you can totally play off the fact that you might have a lot of players over there that aren't used to the high intensity, high pressure, high stakes of it, and they can kind of shrink back and not know how to keep pushing in even when there's pressure. And so at the edge of those carts with some of those blade storms, they're putting a lot of damage into them. It was easier to kind of scare them off, which was okay for me because again, it's not about killing blows at this point. I just want the points because we want the wins. And so if we can set ourselves up with more success that way, then that's the better way to play. So at this point I'm feeling really good about this BG. At this point, I'm pretty sure we know we have it. We have a high enough lead. I mean, we know it could rubber band any second if we start slacking off and just goofing off. But I mean, the other team, I feel like the other team knows we've got it. We know we've got it, and so we're just kind of still going for carts, but mopping up a few more kills just for kicks and giggles here at this point. This warrior knows he's going down, so he just last minute blade storms. Always checking on that map. We got all three carts there, so this is when all three of these go in. We know we've got it. I mean, at this point, they'd have to take all of them in order for them to not. They'd have to take all of them for them to secure a victory. So, really happy with the way we played this match. Came together really nicely. No real hiccups or anything like that. And that made me pretty happy because this map, I feel like I have such bad luck with them. Whether it's random BGs or not, I feel like this is probably one of the most frustrating battlegrounds I've ever played. And I don't know what it is about it because I love it in principle, but the actual execution of it is just kind of frustrating. Very much like Deepwind Gorge. I don't know what it is about that BG. It should be fun. I want it to be fun, but it just ends up being more frustrating than anything else. I'm going to wrap this one up commentary-wise because we were coming to the end of this video. I just want to say, as always, thanks for watching. Look forward to a couple more videos like this. I got a few more RBGs coming up that I want to show you guys, share with you guys, and lay some commentary down over them. And kind of just practice getting better at that. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.